right? All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to share my screen here where I am currently logged in to the um, customer community as Bill. Really, the customer portal that we have today is very basic. It's very simple. There's not a whole lot you can do. The thing that's really interesting about it is that you can view a lot of different reports and dashboards, which is really kind of what guys at your level are may or may not be interested in. But beyond that, you can search details on specific records within this portal as well, and you can access all of your data for the most part. Okay. When you first log in, you come to a static dashboard. This is an open calls dashboard. It's just the one that we chose to put up front, so you get a quick view of open work orders under your account. One thing that I would have you notice is that there is a date and time and who you're viewing this as. You should be viewing it as yourself. But the date and time will be as of the last time that you refresh the dashboard. It will refresh once every 24 hours on its own, but you may need to click the refresh in order to see current data. So if you're logging in, say 12 hours after the last time, you may want to go ahead and hit the refresh. It only takes a minute to go ahead and refresh, and then you'll have current data. Okay. Anything that you see on this in this dashboard and each one of these components that is blue is a clickable link. So in this case, we could click through to see the JCPenney location, or we could click through to see the work order. Additionally, there's a link at the bottom of every component where you can click to see the report that creates that component.
Yeah.
So
Jeff, can I interject and ask a question? So you're logged in as Bill.
Yes.
It says awaiting dispatch approval. So there shows one. So is this saying that, is this a view of, so Bill and I, do we have like what I can call like God access, and or we have ability to see everything across the entire KBS organization? So
you
does that
are
mean
seeing,
that,
yeah, you're seeing everything KBS world. So anything
okay,
that's
so,
yeah.
So right now it says that there's only one, it says awaiting dispatch approval. So there's only one work order that in the entire KBS that's awaiting for someone to say, yes, go ahead and move forward with creation or approving a work order request. Is that?
That would be accurate. Yeah. That would be accurate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Is
right.
that are there going to be other work orders that are on hold for other reasons or in a different status? It may be, but there's only one with the order status of awaiting dispatch approval. My guess is that work order is actively awaiting approval, meaning that they sent somebody a request to approve that order and they just haven't gotten it yet for whatever reason.
Okay.
But yes, that's really what it indicates. So if there's only one there, then there's only one in that status. If you see a yellow triangle down here, this type of component, which is a grid view, is limited to 200 rows. And of course, we've already seen the reports, right? So if there's more than 2,000 rows, even if you drill into the report, you're only going to see the first 2,000 rows, and then additional reports to that, or if there are additional rows to that, then you'll need to export the reports. And I'll show you how to do that when we get to the reports tab, which is coming up pretty soon, right? So that's pretty much all I have to offer you here on this particular dashboard. And all dashboards are going to kind of work the same, right? So anything blue is a link, and then the link underneath takes you to the source report, and then you can refresh here. You can also view this dashboard in the dashboards tab. It's not going to be any different, but just an alternate way to see it. From the home tab and from any tab at all, right? You can see these are all tab. This is a tab-based browsing. Is a global search. Within the global search, you can search for work orders, locations, contacts, installed equipment, whatever you're really looking for, you can find it here. Okay, this is kind of your go-to if you're looking for a specific work order. You can type in that work order number and find it there. So if we were to go work order dash, and then it starts populating whatever the most recent ones. And then as you get to it, you can hit enter and it'll take you to whatever results you had. That's interesting. Or you can just click to the record. So now that brings us right to the work orders, right?
So quick question on that one, Jesse. Do you have to put in the WO?
You do not. So if you were just,
I tried searching for 160204, which actually is the second one on there, and it didn't come up for me.
There you go.
Well, under work orders.
Yeah. So this is a different search.
Okay.
Were you trying to search here? So this
I did
this
both,
is called,
believe it or not, and for some reason maybe I just didn't. Okay.
Yeah. This is your global search. Okay. So this is searching all of Salesforce. It doesn't matter where which tab you have open or whatever. You can be on the home page, you can be on the reports tab, whatever. If you go to this global search, it's going to search for anything that matches that criteria. So in this case, it works like that. If you're on work orders, now there's two things that I want you to see on the tabs, right? So these are called record tabs or object tabs. Installed equipment, contacts, locations, and work orders. Anytime you open one of these tabs, you're going to land on recently viewed. So anything that you have looked at recently is going to show up in that list. In order to see anything else, you can filter it to all. I'm not going to do it because we're connected on the thing. I am going to do it, but it might take a minute to load. The reason being is because all is a lot. All you guys have a lot of work orders, right? So probably 1,800, 2,000 a month, something like that. So we've been doing business together for, I don't know, 10 years. There's probably a lot of work orders that you have access to. So this is not really a good way to kind of search for those, right? There's no way to kind of filter them or whatever. The best thing to do.
Jesse, so is there a way on the dashboard to have like, here's a count of all your open work orders and hereby kind of the different statuses on this report? Is that what this portal is designed to kind of do, or is that a different portal?
So so the reports, there are reports. I don't know if they have reports. I don't write them. So John or some other operations manager has written reports for you, but we can write whatever kind of report.
Yeah, dashboard view is, I'm talking about dashboards.
Dashboards, yeah. So we have 3 dashboards for you. I'll just jump to it. If you jump to the dashboards tab, again, you're gonna show recent. If you click on all, you see all 3 dashboards that you have access to. All right. If any of these are not sufficient, or if you want to see other things on them, they can add to them. So if you're on your open calls, you're going to see repairs in progress, open rentals, estimates waiting approval, orders and triage. And like I said, they can add components to this if you want to see other things.
Okay. Can you go into one of the work orders? I had some more questions just in any work order. So there's information that says create a date, which is great. Are there ability to pull in more metadata here? Like, when the provider's gone on site, like the IVR details, like we can tell from this order, obviously it was created on this date, it was assigned on this date, then, tech
Mhm.
showed up on this date, tech checked out on this date.
Estimate received, estimate approved.
Yeah.
Kind of the linear timeline of an event.
Mhm. Yeah. So the short answer is yes. There's a lot of information that we can post here. The question is, what do you want to see, right? So if you guys were to, obviously you just gave me some guidance, and that's great. So anything that you want to see on here, all we need is your feedback on it, and we can kind of make it happen. Is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
So,
so
am I?
you're saying there's
I'm not
ability.
gonna give you.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna be able to give you everything, like technician information, things like that. I don't think it
Yeah.
crosses over the firewall, but there are other things, like if you want to see that timeline view with the date stamps, we capture a lot of that stuff.
So
And we do
that's a
have
great question
SLA
there
fields.
too. Great question there too on that one is we don't want to know your technicians, but would you have like a database ID or something so we can start seeing correlations on a technician? So if the database ID of Tom, the technician, is 1234, we can kind of look at, okay,
Mhm.
let's see how 1234 is doing, right? Oh, he's
Mhm.
taken, on average 7 days to submit an estimate. So without actually disclosing the proper information, is some reference ID to that.
Right. Again, short answer is yes. Long answer would be we'd have to see how we can get that information across the bridge, right? So
For sure.
if there's there's a wall between customer and vendor in Salesforce, so as long as I can get it over that wall, then we're
Yeah.
good to go.
Let me ask you this. Is there a way, do you have a list of what all the data elements that you guys track that, again, without disclosing the provider details, can we get a list
Mhm.
of like what all that you guys capture so that way we can, work through that and say, hey, with you and John, and say, hey, it would be great if we pulled in these, additional 20 fields,
Mhm.
because that gives us a good understanding of coming into a work order, seeing the history, to do root cause analysis, to do also status on things. It would be very helpful. Like
Mhm.
already this portal has been very helpful for us as we've done some, researching,
Oh,
but
good.
yeah, it's like missing certain things, right? And so like when you look at this order,
I'm sure yeah.
I can't tell, like, okay, you got created on 3/1. I don't know when you guys assigned it to the tech, and I don't know when the tech like has gone out to the site. It could be once, it could be twice, it could be 3 times,
Mhm.
missing those
Mhm.
details. And then also, where it is in the life cycle stage, that I would love to also kind of understand the life cycle stages, that how you guys have defined that, right? I'm assuming
Right.
cradle is created, grave is completed, right? So in between, what are the
So
other?
that's our orders. That's our order status. That's our
Correct.
order status. So we have order
Life cycle.
statuses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how does that work? And then,
So
from a linear
I
path.
can give you a summary. I can give you a summary of that and how that works. That's pretty
Okay.
easy.
Yeah.
It's there are a lot of the statuses are some of them are manual and some of them are automatically progressed. So and you're right. It's it's from open or triage through work completed or closed. Closed is when we've either billed it or closed somehow, closed it, either warranty or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So so why don't we do that, right? So why don't I'm sorry, I don't really have a formal presentation for this thing. full disclosure, it's a very basic site. It has not had a lot of traction, not a lot of usage. It was only just updated to the Lightning format, which is much more usable than the old classic. Shahroz, I don't know if you had access to it before we did the upgrade, but
I like this.
It was pretty ugly.
Okay.
There will be more functionality coming to it in future releases. So
Okay.
this is just kind of the base model, if you will.
Okay, let me ask you this, because here's where our minds are kind of starting to race to. Because we're talking about also, you know, how do we start improving estimate times and more of like action-based situations that need to happen from the
Sure.
field. And John, you know, mentioned has mentioned previously before that, hey, we used to have a login thing. We didn't have a good traction with the field, you know, logging into that. And I think, you know, we have some ideas on how to make that better. But if you go back to the main page, do we have the ability, and I'm just trying to understand from functionality wise, right? If I'm field manager ABC, can I come in and be able to see, all right, here are all the work orders that are waiting basically approval from an estimate from me. And then can they take an action on that from here, from the work order? So I know that we don't have, it says estimates awaiting approval, right? That's in the left-hand corner. So if you click on one of those work orders, could you do that, please? Could we make this an actionable situation? Like right now, there's nothing on this page that says, you know, that you can take an action on this, like hit
That's
approve.
correct. There used to be a button that said approve deny, and it never once got used. That button was part of the classic view and not in a Lightning technology. That's not to say that it's never going to be there again. It will be there again. Just needs to be rebuilt. That's
okay,
all.
so there is capability of that.
So yes, it is possible for me to put. There is possibility for me to put buttons on this page for you guys to do something with, or you know, to change the format of the page depending on the status, maybe show some different fields or whatever.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so it would be great if we can get a list of things. I mean, just my mind is now racing on things, right?
Yeah. Oh, I bet. Yeah, absolutely. And as you dig through it, if you see, hey, you know, it would be great if I could do this, whatever, just let me know, and we can try and demo it for you.
Okay. And is this where you guys, I know we had early conversations about like capturing what parts are being used on each of the repairs. I guess that would be fleshed out in when you send us a list of what all data elements are available, that we can then take a look and see. Because where I was just going to go with this is that, can we then start capturing details such as like, what was the service that was performed? You know, what parts were basically used to make this repair on this work order, right? What were the charges, and et cetera, et cetera.
So when the job is billed, or if there's an estimate, you should be able to see detail for each thing. These detail lines are not here. So yeah, I can put that on there for you. So when we give you an estimate, we can give you access to the estimate. We can give you access to the parts that are being used when the job is billed, for sure.
Is the estimate something that they just call in and someone in the TSS call center logs it into this portal, or is there a front end that the techs use to put information in?
So thanks for asking, because I'm really excited about that project. It's the very next one on my books. I will be facing them a portal for them to submit estimates. Right now, they're calling it in, they're sending emails, they're doing different things, and somebody at our location is entering those.
Perfect. So with that portal, then obviously timestamps and things like that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be real time, as far as the technician's concerned. But also it puts the onus on the tech. And I don't mean to complain about anything. And I don't know how much, experience you guys have in dealing with technicians and getting estimates. Is they don't always report the right part numbers. They have a local guy that they get paid. Hey, I get my parts from Jimmy, and Jimmy has these weird part numbers. We don't know what to do with those, and how do we control pricing for you with Jimmy part numbers on them? So we make them give us OEM part numbers, and then we hold them to go for pricing. So if there's aftermarket available, right? So one thing that we have to do is we have to cross-reference and compare those parts to gopher items. That being said, it can take some time, depending on how sloppy the technician is. So giving them a portal facing process to do that in, they have to put in those. They have to do that cross-reference research themselves. They're getting the pricing from Gopher anyway. So,
and then another question I have on the portal, and this is kind of
sure
on the TSS side. It's when someone submits an estimate, how do they? So what we're having today, obviously, is a delay in one, getting the provider to submit an estimate, and then two, having that estimate actioned, right?
Right.
How do the team see to say, here's your queue of events to work on? Do they have that, or is this just kind of a
they do.
Okay.
They do. So we've had some recent improvements in that process through case management, through other processes that you should start seeing some real improvement. Should have started seeing the improvement already. And as far as I've heard, the numbers are dropping pretty well.
Okay. And then the last thing on that one, Jesse, is on the screen that you're on now, where it says estimates awaiting approval.
Yeah.
If I click on total, does that filter between ascending and descending?
No, not here. But if you drill into the report, you should be able to sort it. So once you're in the report, let me just kind of jump on this a little bit. You'll notice that there's a summary up top, right? And then there's this chart. There's not always a chart, but so if there's a chart, it'll show up here. And then below that chart, there's the detail. So you can toggle the chart on and off by clicking this, any one of these buttons up here. You can toggle different things, right? So you can see what the report is filtered on. You can refresh the report. You can search data within the report table, and then you can export. Remember, I said you could export.
But here, can I do the descending of the estimate amount?
Yeah. So here you can do that. Now, what you can see is that these are this is a grouped report. So you're really sorting on whatever is in the grouping.
Yeah,
but you can also
check subtotals at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
And then right? Can you filter?
And then you can sort. You can sort by total estimate, right?
Perfect.
And then you can do descending, right?
Can you do descending there?
Yeah. Whoa.
So again, TSS has their own operational thing. I have a $9,000 repair for something that might cost $4,000, and they're waiting on an estimate. Does this?
My guess is this is going to be my guess is this is going to be an industrial unit, and I'm sure it's a lot more than $4,000.
Okay, well, even the ones below it, right? 2,000, 3,000.
Yeah, so they monitor these, and nothing goes out to you guys until it's been reviewed and approved. The estimate's been approved by somebody in-house, right? So
But is there anything
if
systemic
it's
that if we said, here's our criteria or our threshold matrix, that you can highlight that,
Mhm.
put a note in or something
Yes.
says, okay,
So there is, so when we think about that, we have an ETA, or we have an NTE, right? So a not to exceed amount. So for, let's say, a UPS, it would be $2,000. I don't know what it is. Let's just say it's $2,000. So then this $9,000 repair pops up, and we know we have to submit an estimate, right? If it's $2,500, we're just going to submit the estimate, right? Because it's a little bit over, and that's exactly why that program works, right? If it's a lot more, then that's grabbed by through policy, not through anything systemic. There's nothing in the system that says absolutely no estimates over X
For sure.
dollars, right?
A lot of variables, yeah.
That being said, we are working on a new architecture for the model record, which will have the different classes of models on there, and we can absolutely put ceilings on there for you if we want to start doing that. It's probably not a bad idea.
That's good. That's good. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome. Exporting. If you click on the export button, you have two options. You can do a formatted report, and like I said, this is a grouped report. You can if you do formatted, you're going to get the grouping exactly the way it looks on the screen, right? If you do a details only, you can do it for a different any kind of different file type, either the XLSX or the CSV. But what's going to happen is it's going to explode your data, and you'll get all of the line data that's included in the report. So if there's 40,000 rows or 22,000, right, it'll give you everything and every row. So then you can do all your formatting within whatever spreadsheet you're going to use. Okay. Again, yeah, you can flip these toggles to show different values, just to show detail rows. You can shut that off, and you can just see the totals if you want. It depends on what makes sense for the report you're looking at.
For sure.
And then when you're,
go ahead.
Yep. Installed equipment is the same thing. It's a record tab, and recently viewed is your current selection. You can set a different view, and just so you guys are aware, if you are not seeing a view that fits for you and you want to see something else in this view, you can just let me know, and we can create a list view for you specifically.
Now, I don't know if you, Shahroz, did you have something, or can I jump in? Or
Yeah,
go ahead.
Just on this, if you can click on the report, is there a way to tell on the installed equipment, is there a way to tell categorically what those equipments are? Like it's a scrubber, it's a burnisher, it's a.
Yeah, we have the type. It's not on this list view, but we can absolutely put that on there for you.
Yeah, that kind of goes to my my question as well. As on some table-based reporting, I can go to like the settings gear over there and say add column category for a view. And I tried that this morning, and I didn't see that.
Yeah, it didn't let you, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to play with that. I'm not gonna give you an answer today, but I'm gonna play with it and see what you can do with it. Because honestly, I don't know what you can do with it, and not that I don't want to give you the keys to the Mercedes.
No,
but,
understand. No, understand.
Let's make sure it's not giving away major secrets or whatever. So and then we'll give it to you. But yeah, you're absolutely right. If you're in a report, I can give you the ability to change filters. As a matter of fact, you can eliminate filters. You just can't add them, right? Like you can change this to my work orders. It's not going to do anything because when you do that, it's based on ownership. So you need to leave it at all. But if you wanted to, so right now it says order status is not equal to canceled or blank. You can delete that, and then you can also see all canceled orders, right?
So from a data side is, as long as the field is captured, you have it there, you have the potential to expose it so long as we all agree that that's the right thing to do.
Right. Yep. As long as it's something that I can give you access to as under a community license. There are certain limitations, and if I don't hit those limitations, then no problem. We'll get you access to it.
For us, there's some swizzling that we do on our side as well, and obviously there's group reports and views that you guys need internally. The potential of getting a line item report. So work order number 1, the data's across, right? Here's who it belongs to. Here's what it is. The date it was created, the date it went into service, the hours, the one time the tech arrived, just one line item view of an assignment or work order.
For a machine?
For any type of, any work order, right? So if a work order comes in as what are all the elements that we can expose in one line item, and then allow us to kind of, swizzle and look at different views that we want to have. Because if I look at work order there, 144662, there's a created date, then there's the tech on site date, then there's the tech estimate date, estimate approved date, all these other pieces, who approved it, yada, yada, yada. If I can get a bulk report like that, I can create views on my side as well and work with our SpendCube person to really enhance the views. And it becomes more of a, just not looking up stuff, but a tool that actually directs us on what to do and becomes actionable. Because that's really what we're looking for. It's good to look deep dive into the data, but right now we need the flags, the speedometers that tells us what to look at.
Bill, essentially what we just need is an available of the raw data of all the elements that, again, that you guys would be available to give to us, minus the proprietary information that's important, that's classified to you guys,
Tech
right?
name or whatever, right?
Want the name of the provider firm, company, and contact information such as that, what that is. But having everything else like related to this service order and stuff like that, I mean, it would just be the essentially raw data of that, so that we can also start building our own set of dashboards and different views in managing the business.
Okay. I understand.
Yeah. All right, just
I think you guys get that already. Don't you get a, I think John set that up with, what was his name?
Irfan?
Irfan, yeah. I think he set it up, and we send out a raw report. It's called raw something.
Okay, I'll check with Irfan on that.
Yeah, every month. And I don't know what data is on there. I think a lot of the data that you're asking about is on there.
Okay. Just from a timing wise standpoint, are there anything else on, so we went through work orders, location contacts. Is there anything here that you need to walk us through?
So not really. I mean, these are all going to work exactly the same. Primarily what I wanted to show you were the reports and dashboards that we have available for you right now. And to extend the invitation for you to throw us your ideas, tell us what you want to see, because like I said, historically, the customer portal has just gotten very little traction. Mostly because the old portal was very, I don't want to say it was poor, but it was poor.
Yeah, no.
Right. So now the new one is much better. It flows better. It looks better. And I can do a whole lot more with it. And we have a lot of plans to do stuff with it, a lot for your field people to be able to come in here and do stuff, submit report repair requests or look up information, look up troubleshooting guides and things like that.
Just
yeah.
And I think a good part of the challenge again before is that it was another location, another user ID and password to remember. That obviously makes things challenging, right? We talked about being able to link this at the KVS force into the portal, but you have a password authentication. Does this allow for us to kind of integrate some type of single sign-on capability?
Yeah, I think we can set that up. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah. So so it would be really great. We're talking to consultants now about developing our public community, right? The public community would be knowledge base. It would be things like troubleshooting guides and instruction videos, right? So we have that other website that you guys have access to look at those type of things. It'll get rid of the app that we have, and they'll be able to do whatever they do on the app in the public community. And then this reports and dashboards would be specific to guys like you or people in your hierarchy that you want to have a higher level view of the data, right? And that would be, that would be this part of it too. So it would be kind of seamless at that point, right? We would be a one-stop shop, and then we could absolutely do the single sign-on with your portal, and have it there. So,
and I'm assuming that we can then build this, and I want to, before we get off this call, also talk to you about the hierarchy report, that make sure that we work with Caleb, that we're in a good spot with that. But looking at our hierarchy level, like this dashboard view and the details, we can customize this to specific hierarchy groups, right? So I can say our zone managers, we want them to have this view, these details. This is the set of information that we want them to be visible for them. Next level, RVPs, this is the set of dashboard and details that we want them to have. And then executive team, here's a different basically set of it. So essentially 3 different types of views. Are we able to kind of do that by a hierarchy set of groups?
Not today. However, it's something I'll absolutely look into in the future. So so basically I can control it by profile. What I can't control is how many different dashboards we can have. So you see how this says viewing as bit. I'm trying to figure out how to explain this without going all geek on you guys. Basically we have 5 dashboards that we can run as a logged in user. That's it, 5. So 3 of those are yours, and 2 of them are 2 of them we use for the ASP portal. All right. If I have to, I'll steal one from the ASP portal and I'll give you a 4th, but it's not really something that we can break it down. So that hierarchy doesn't exist on the user level. It exists on the contact level and on the location level. getting it to the user level is possible, but like I said, I don't want to get all nerdy on you. So it's absolutely something we can put on the roadmap. It's not something that we're going to be able to do today, right? So these dashboards that you see, we can edit them, we can change them however you want. We can have 3 of them, right? And we can give you as many reports as we want. So you know how you guys have the RVP reports? So they can all access their RVP reports, but they're going to be able to access all RVPs reports. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Did you say no?
No, I said, yeah, no, understood.
Okay. So all that being said, let's keep it on the roadmap and look to it in the future. For now, let's just focus on making sure that we have the right reports available to you, and then the right dashboards.
Yeah, I think order of operations. So like, let's summarize this. So thank you so much for walking us through this and explaining and this stuff. And I think it makes a whole lot more sense in terms of what's capable and intention of it today and how it's being used. I think in terms of our next steps, we would appreciate, like I said, if we can get a list of what all data elements are available that we can pull in. We would like to bring additional set of information in. I'll check with Airfund to see if, what we're getting to today, so that the view that we want to build. Again, I look at our key things that we're trying to kind of solve right now. So I would want to then immediately after start exploring the possibility of getting single sign-on incorporated. Once we have the details, we're trying to address the whole estimate process, right? And getting the ASPs to generate the estimates a lot faster. And then also, once that gets done, is for KBS field operation team to action those a lot more quickly, right? And today, a lot of this stuff just goes into the email inbox, right? An email gets fired off and it goes into the email inbox, and then they have to kind of manage that out of their email inbox, right? And if they're getting
no, we have it all transferred into case management now. So the emails are being captured as cases. So it's kind of, same thing, but there's more accountability for it, right? So
yeah, I'm just saying on our side, the field team, they don't have a case the RVPs don't have a case manager.
No, they're dealing out of their email.
Yeah, so they're just working out of their inbox, and if it gets buried in on top of emails, it's going to then take a couple more email. So I like this system a lot, and I think we can then talk about next steps in terms of how we link this from KBS Force. They come in here, single sign-on. They take an action. They can see what's basically in the queue, right? Of that they need to zero out or complete out. That's waiting, estimate, approvals or a decision on. So that's kind of the next step.
So the dashboard would be important to the RVP level, or more important to a lower level than that? Like who's approving the estimates? The RVPs?
Yeah, RVPs.
RVPs, yeah. So why don't we focus on the dashboards for the RVPs?
Yeah, let's first pull in, like I said, order of operation. Send us what all data elements that you guys tracked and that we can pull in, so that we can go first and we can complete that view.
I can tell you there's over 1,000. I can tell you there's over 1,000 fields on the work order, and I don't think I can send you all of them.
We'll take them.
But I can. You can't have them. But I'll give you all of the date stamp fields. How about that? So all of the progression fields that we're talking about, I can give you all of them.
I just don't want that though. I do want to see what else is available that that we can pull in. Like I said, if some of the other things that Bill mentioned and that I did as well, is like having the ASP just numbered. That's not a date driven situation. that would be good to have. Knowing, you know, what parts were finally used, that's, you know, important for us to incorporate. So that helps us, helps us kind of visualize and understand what all critical data is available. Like, I mean, if it really is 1,000, just again, let's maybe parse it down to something else that you think that, hey, these we really wouldn't, you know, they are more system generated
That's what
stuff.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. There's a lot of fields on there that are just kind of, this is how Salesforce runs, right? This is it. This one makes it do this. This one makes it do that, whatever. Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you don't need all that stuff. I understand what you're looking for. So anything that's mission driven, any fields that are mission driven that will help us, you know, progress, I'll make sure that you have a list of
Awesome.
that data.
Awesome.
Cool.
Okay. And I'll even do one step better, Bill. I'll give you just a flat file with sample data, right? So I'll give you all of those fields with, so it'll be a spreadsheet with about 250 columns on
Perfect.
it. Remember you said that.
Well, you have them on recording, so you can just play it back.
Yep, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Jesse, thank
All
you so
right.
much for your time.
Jesse,
And-
thanks again, man.
Yeah,
Super
right
helpful
on.
as always.
all right.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
All right.
Anytime.
Take
If you
care.
guys think anything offline, then just chat me. All right.
All right.
I'll be around.
Jesse. Sir.
Thank you. We'll see you later.